Welcome back, ladies. Last week, we discussed dysfunctional communication styles within our family. But this week, girl, we're going to talk about some friendships that need the boot. How's your week?
I think pretty uneventful. I'm trying to think. I got COVID tested for fun. It's not fun. I was just saying I came up with the best joke. I'm like, I think that my nose has been poked more than down there this year. It's a little depressing. Wait, what did you say?
I'm just trying to give her a little action, okay?
That's what friends are for.
We try to keep it safe around here. We have, people in and out.
Yeah.
So, and holidays are coming and we try to keep each other safe.
We're doing that. It's not fun, but we're doing it.
Uh-huh.
What else is going on? Not a lot. We filmed last week.
Oh my God.
And
I'm going to cry.
We recorded I think it was like an hour and a half.
It was an hour and a half. No, I think we're exaggerating, but it was pretty close.
And then Christal looks over. I'm like going into this deep story. Christal looks over. She's like, stop talking. And I'm like, oh no, I think I said something bad. What did I say? That was so bad. You're like, I was not recording this entire time.
No, I looked down because for some reason it just dawned on me. I'm like, you know what? I don't remember pressing record, which by the way, let me just make sure it's recording. Thank goodness.
I hope.
Oh, and I looked down and we had talked. I mean, we were in flow.
Yes.
And then I looked down and I was just like,
oops.
We wanted to cry, but we laughed instead. Kind of like this year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind
it
of the
sums
thing.
it up. And here we are.
Here we are. We are going to talk about, we talk about relationships in terms of, every area of our life.
Well, I think when people think about relationships, they're usually just thinking of romantic, but there's so many other relationships that we have in our life.
Yes. And, intimacy is huge, but personal relationships, I mean, our whole life, like I've said this before, but the quality of our life is the quality of our relationships. And last week we talked about, family dynamics and tricky communication styles within our families and how to handle it. And can I talk?
Sometimes.
I feel like I'm wanting to round out all my words.
I think that just made me think of like family. What we were saying is they know every button and every trigger. Friendship is kind of the same way because if they're your closest friends, you tell them your deepest, darkest secrets.
Right.
So they also can figure out all of your triggers and what really can set you off, I think.
Yes. And also with friendships, we're all going through different stages of life. With personal relationships, it's not intimate enough for you to constantly keep be in tune with what's going on. You try, especially if you have best friends, but life gets in the way. And sometimes you don't talk to your best friends I know for me personally, I can go months without talking to my best friends.
Me too.
Or weeks. And of course that's no problem. We're adults. That's what happens. Whereas with intimate relationships, you're with that person every single day. So you're keeping up with the stages of life. Stages of life can change. What matters to you changes. Where you are now versus where you were when you guys started your friendship, changes. And what you hope is that you both are adapting to each other's lives.
Yeah.
And again, rowing the boat together.
But I think
this friendship.
Yeah. And with say like motherhood, friendships can change so much. If one person becomes a mother and the other person maybe is single or not even interested in having kids, and then you might feel a disconnect because that person has a new life.
It's so true. And that's why in one of our first episodes, I said, Chrissy, you never missed a beat when Rowan came.
Yeah.
Our life is different.
100%.
And so our relationship, how we were before baby is different. But, our love for each other hasn't changed. We just adapted, and I think you being in a completely different stage of life, you've adapted to this new life. And that's why I say you don't need mommy friends. You just need friends where you both are adapting to each other's lives and you can feel like you still have that friendship and you still have that, that connection, just things are different and you don't have those expectations on each other.
We just don't go on dates as much as we used
right.
to.
It's actually
Also,
a joke now.
Wait, no, our
I feel like we're
7-year
always blowing our nose.
our 7-year Facebook friendship anniversary was like 2 days ago.
That is so
And I was going to
cute.
comment on it. I was going to share and comment. Not as many dates as before the baby came. Can you tell that story, please?
So Andrew rarely posts on Facebook. Honestly, maybe in the last 11 years of us, we were Facebook friends for 11 years. Maybe the last 11 years, I've seen him post like 3 or 4 times. It was 3 before this week. Okay. Because this week he posted an encrypted message on Facebook. Not as many date nights before baby, but I still love them. And I'm like, what do you love? I'm like, I just replied waiting for, what did I say?
I forget.
Yeah, I said, waiting for clarification.
Yes.
Because I'm like, what do you miss?
No, because he didn't share a memory. It wasn't a post. It didn't relate to anything.
It was just out of nowhere. So that was the 4th time he posted and everyone was just laughing because nobody knew what he was talking about.
No.
So here we go. So he loves either date nights or the baby or maybe me. I'm not sure.
We just became Facebook friends 6 months ago.
You
Me
and
and Andrew.
No.
Well, I don't add people on Facebook. And he doesn't go on Facebook. So it wasn't like a match made in Facebook heaven.
Oh my god.
So we just became friends.
Well, so that is Andrew. And yeah, so I think when I think about my close friends, all of them, we're all in, we're in different stages of life, but that doesn't take away from the connection in our lives, in our friendship. And that's only because, self-awareness and being really connected to what it is that you want in your life and being mature, I think is a huge thing, in friendships. And I'm thankful that I have that in everyone that's around me. And yeah, so going back to, I'm glad that you brought that as an example because I definitely, have said this, like you haven't missed a beat. Rowan came, our lives have changed. And it's just like every day we're just kind of like, okay, figuring it out, and just doing what needs to be done. And it is a joke because anytime Chrissy and I want to go to dinner or, not just be in a work environment because we work all day together, but just like actually as friends, like we are, something comes up.
The house floods.
No, we're not even kidding.
No, the house floods.
Flooded on the night that we were supposed to go do something. So, and then what else happened? There was another time.
I forget. I couldn't tell you.
Too much happens.
It's a lot.
It is. It's life. What are you going to do? Okay, so we're going to kind of discuss the friends that need the boot.
Ooh.
You know why?
Why?
Because we're going into 2021.
We got to get rid of bad friends.
We're just not, like, we already had enough,
This year
tricky
was
energy this year. And again, it's not the years, it's what you make it. And of course, shit's going to happen. Life is life. And this year, shit happened, collectively.
Wait, but that's interesting because you're talking about, well, you just said it's not about the time, but I think if you're friends with someone for a long period of time, you might feel a sense of loyalty, even though they might not be someone very good.
Yes. And we're going to talk about that. I think we do that, especially like in our intimate relationships with that loyalty. We're just like, oh, well, I would be a bad friend if I just cut off our relationship. And you're not, the thing is we want to raise the quality of our life. As I was just saying, shit in life has happened to everyone as a collective, not just individually. Mm-hmm. Yes, each one of us has the power to make it what it is, right? We can adapt or we can resist. But this year, I'm as a collective, I think we all felt it, right? But there are certain things that we are in control of. And in order for us to really focus on the quality of life and the vision that we want to create for ourselves, we really need to see what energies we have around us, who are the people that are either, restricting that energy, taking away that energy, making it really, really hard, making you feel guilty for where you want to be. I had I read emails years ago. This is before I was a mom. So of mothers saying that friends didn't understand that they were a mom and they were getting, they were being yelled at for being bad friends because of the time that was taken being a mom with a baby, So like, oh, my friend is mad because I can't see her as often and I can't do X, Y's, and Z's with her. And I thought that was strange then. But even now that I experience literally my day waking up and then the day ending, I'm like, where
did the time go?
Did this time go? Like Chrissy leaves for the day and I'm like, it's that time already. Yeah. I literally feel like we just woke up. So we really need to take note of who are these people that are amplifying our lives. And they don't have to have the same vision as you. They don't have to be, if you're into self-help and discovery, they don't have to be into that with you. But they have to have a certain level of understanding in order for you to achieve the things that you want to achieve and not feeling guilty of leaving people behind. So should we get into it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, so these are the types of people that you should
probably break up with.
We're
going to go into some questions so that we can put this into practice. But I just want to I want you guys to see if you have any of these people in your life or if you are one of these people.
Oh, no.
I can honestly say that I've not always been a good friend.
Me
like
either.
when I was younger, I could find myself in one of these and I was all over the place, because you're still, you're trying to discover yourself. You're trying to figure out who you are, what you want. And there are some people who are probably, really have your back, but you're just not really paying attention to them, and just recently I was taking note of some friendships. Actually, this has actually been happening, that I really, really honored or still think about to this day, and think about the times that I didn't really let them know how much they mean to me, and I wasn't really in the space to be a good friend. And I think there's always, sometime we're going to go into when, it's a friendship that you need either time or space from, because that's just, that's if a friendship is good, but you guys are just in two different spots, or if it's something that you just like, I can't talk to this person anymore. But all of my, the friendships that are near and dear to me or people that I think about are just, it's like we just were in two different spaces.
But neither of you had done anything to each other. Like there was no animosity.
Yeah, it just happened. So we're going to talk about, and so this week I was really thinking about it, and especially with Andrew and I, we're getting married or having our wedding next year. I was just thinking about all the people that are going to be there and some of the people that, I want to be there, even though I haven't talked to them in a long time.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So reaching out to those people. Okay. So I'm sure there's more.
Probably.
And again, you guys can leave your comments below, but I think they fall into these 8 types of friends you probably should break up with. Okay. So the first one is the entitled friend. This is the friend that you do so much for. Just say you're helping them move. You're there when they need you. You're helping them out financially. You're helping them out emotionally. They're breaking up with their significant other every 2 seconds, and you're always, always there. And there's no appreciation.
Ooh. Or are they doing things for you in return ever?
No.
Ooh. Okay.
And again, relationships are a two-way street. Maybe they think they are.
True.
But usually they're so caught up in their own world that they don't see what other people are doing for them. And people who fall into these friendships are usually a lot of, I see this, the empaths or people who are people pleasers, right? Mm-hmm. They fall into giving to their friends. And a lot of times maybe they don't ask for anything in return because they're like, no, this is just me. I just want to give. But then they start building resentment towards this friend because this friend is in their own ass and won't see, that their friend is doing all of these things and they're not reciprocating. So this can come in all shapes, forms. I mean, we can all find ourselves even in the past in this. And again, I feel like most people pleasers fall into this, but the entitled friend is this as if like everything is owed to them. Have you ever had a friend like that?
I actually haven't.
I think I fell into, because I used to be a people pleaser.
No, but I think that you're very giving and you're very, very generous, and that can be taken advantage of.
Yes.
And I tell my family, I'm like, I never want you to ever feel like I'm like a leech on you or I'm taking advantage of you. And that's like, I know you're going to yell at me, so don't yell at me.
I'm going to yell at you.
But I always say that because I'm like so mindful of that. And like, that's why I want to take care of you and do everything in the world for you.
Okay, but that's
because you do the same though for everybody else.
And that's the thing, like Chrissy, you reciprocate tenfold. Do you know what I mean?
No, I know, but I know because you are like the most generous and giving person. And I see the way you you guys literally take care of everybody in your life. What?
Stop.
Okay. No, so I see that and it makes me want to also do that and be that.
But you are that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are that. And I think more so, thank you. That was really sweet.
It's so true,
that
though.
was a good little side.
Oh.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. I think in my day, I think when I was younger, I was always a people pleaser and I always just wanted to give without even though that's my nature, without really having any boundaries in place with people. And Andrew kind of helped me with that. I remember he would always tell me like, you're overextending. And then that's when, and I can honestly say in the last 4 years or so, I really have been mindful of that. And the relationships around me show, because everyone, I've had friendships for a long time. And everyone in my life right now, too, it's like a two-way street. And so I think a lot of my people pleasers just be mindful of this. You don't want to, it becomes a gift and a curse. A gift is that you're giving. Chrissy's really giving too. The curse is that you become overextend yourself, and then you become resentful of people. And you don't want to do that because then that also is the energy that you're contributing in your relationship. So you don't want that. But then also you want to make sure that whoever you're giving to is also reciprocating, is also showing appreciation for the things that you're doing, because you have a life and you could be using that energy towards yourself and towards others.
Is this something though that maybe you could have a conversation with someone and maybe they're not realizing that they're doing it?
Yes.
But I think a lot of people are scared to bring up this conversation probably.
It's really, because I think most people are afraid to bring this up because they're like, well, I'm giving, it should be from a good place and I shouldn't be attached to it. But you can always open it up, especially if your friend is in a situation where they're just like, they're living their life and maybe they're going through some problems, they're not seeing it, they can barely make their way through, the fog of their life, that they're not seeing everything you're doing. And so here's what I would suggest. See if this is a temporary thing. Maybe you do need to be there for your friend and extend yourself to them once they get through that, because one, who they are and that they always do reciprocate, but maybe they're just going through something. Or maybe this is somebody who this has always been the pattern. You've already had conversations with them about this and they still don't care. Then those are two different.
That's a good distinction.
Yes. Yeah. So that's the first one. The second one is the overly sensitive friend. This is someone who's constantly offended by everything. Like you can go out to eat and you're just like, oh my God, this person is going to be looking at the room, offended that, a guy is looking at them or coming up to them, or, is somebody who's going to start a fight with someone, getting in an argument.
Oh,
this is kind of going back to our communication styles, like kind of getting the aggressor.
That's what I was thinking
but
about.
Also, they're the ones who take everything personally. So going back to what I said about the mommies who feel like their friends get mad at them because oh, I don't have the time anymore. Like I'm over here, always with my baby. Time is getting away from me. And these friends are always upset. They find something to be upset about because they take things personally. And I think this is something that's really, really hard because you can love someone so much, but it becomes so taxing when somebody needs your energy all the time. And if you may not mean to, but they feel like you're neglecting the friendship.
But I feel like personal or romantic relationships are so much work. I don't think friendships should be work or need to be work.
Yes. Well, and you know what? Intimate relationships shouldn't be that much work.
Yeah.
You know, friendships, you're always going to have little, you have to tune-ups, just like any intimate relationship, because you're changing. Your lives are changing. Your communication styles are changing. What you need from the relationship changes. I was actually talking the other day, now this is just a small rant. I was talking to my father-in-law and I was talking about how hard it would be, you know, being someone's parent for all these years and this is your role. And then they become adults and you have to reassess your role in their relationship because they don't need you in the ways that they needed you when they were younger. It's the same as any relationship in our life. The stage of friendships and intimate relationships change. So what I needed from Andrew 10 years ago is not what I need from Andrew right now.
Yeah.
You know, what I need from my friendships 10 years ago is not what I need right now. You know, so they change because life changes.
I agree.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I have one of these that I really have a lot to say. So I'm waiting to get to that one.
But also like with the overly sensitive, it's not that they handle situations in the sensitive manner. Maybe they do. But the overly sensitive is like, yeah, if you're afraid to take this person out.
Or are you scared to even talk to them about anything?
Because you're always walking on
their
eggshells.
feelings.
Yes, you're hurting their feelings, or just everything is about them, you know, because they just can't get out of their bubble of like, it's them.
Yeah.
You know? So that's what I see. And I see that when I read comments about just like, yeah, you can be having a good time with your friends and your experience of the interaction with people and like the bartenders and, you know, just everyone around you is completely different than this sensitive person. And it kind of like they taint the experience at the end of the night.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. The third person that you should probably break up with is the shit talker. This is someone who is friends with you in front of your face, but then you find out from Susie and all of your rest of your friends and your acquaintances that they're saying things behind your back or presenting you in a bad light. And this is something I had to deal with when I was younger.
Really?
I had a best friend that
I think I told you. Okay, now I remember.
I had a best friend who, when I was younger, we were like, we were inseparable. My family loved this person. We were we were always together. You know, we like would wear we were into like emo shit.
Yes.
We wear our sparkly like belts and stuff. And go to concerts. And yeah, this person was kind of like a sister. They were in like my family. And then I would find out that in some of the same groups that we would hang out with, that she would say things when I wasn't there, you know, behind my back, like just mean-spirited things or kind of belittle like me, you know,
What's the purpose of that?
I have no idea.
What?
So once I found that out, because I would never do, for me, I'm like, you just talk up the people in your life, you know, and if you, like, again, if you have a problem with somebody, you talk to them, you know, in person. But even if I had an issue with somebody, I would still talk them up in settings. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hi, babes. So sorry, but we had technical difficulties this week with the camera. But to listen to the full episode, please click the link below. And we promise next week we will be back. Camera will be working and you will be able to see our faces. Till next week.